for justice.
If you're gonna find me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a psycho, 27. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite you dead. So if you're gonna find me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars.
What can I say? I need more than desire, more than just a pretty face.
J's for justice.
Okay, you better walk away. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Only one love at the side of the fire.
Wait a second, you guys. We have
Someone who
breaking
can handle me. Someone cut your heart too deep. Oh yeah, oh
Something
yeah.
scary.
If you
Wait a
try to
minute.
come
I just got a
closer,
text. Oh
I'ma
my
give you some
god.
closure before you know it, it's over.
Wait a second, you guys. We
So
have
run
breaking
away,
news.
run away.
Oh my god.
I'm not trying to hurt you,
J's for justice.
but I will if I have to. I'ma tell you what I do. Run
Oh my
away,
God.
run away. Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart,
During
all
an
you gonna
interview
get
with
is
Jay
battle
for
scars.
Justice
Baby, I'm a tiger, 20 steps ahead. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite to dead. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 20 steps ahead. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite you dead. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. What can I do? Gotta keep every heart safe, so we make it out alive.
J's for justice.
I don't wanna waste no time. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Try to play nice so I won't give you heartache. Trust me, baby, when I say,
J's for justice.
girl, you better walk away. Oh yeah, oh yeah. If you try to come closer, I'ma give you some closure before you know it, it's over. So run away,
Something
run away.
scary.
I'm not trying to hurt you, but I will if I have to. I'ma tell you what I do.
Something
Run away,
scary.
run away. Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 20 steps ahead. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite to dead. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 20 steps ahead. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite to dead. So if you're gonna fight me.
Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hey, Roberters.
Roberta,
How are you guys doing today? Hold on, let me get my screen situated here. We've got Bella and Summer. Bella is itchy again. I'm going to have to give her another bath. We have Bella and Summer down here with Puppy Cam. They're hanging out today. Let me get my other camera up and running here. Happy Friday, Roberters. So we have a couple things to talk about that I wasn't really planning on, but with things that are going on, I felt like I wanted to talk about them. So let me get my J-Cam on. There's my J-Cam. Ooh, it's blurry. Let me fix that. It's not really set up right, so because I had it down to do this drawing. But if you guys want to get your own Carlton Reserve tea right here, you can get it in the merch shop. It says, I searched the Carlton Reserve, and all I found was this dumb mofo and t-shirt. So we are going to go into something that is obviously a lot of you are already seeing it, and that is the threat of the cyber attack. And we have received After that, we're going to watch this U.S. cybersecurity alert. So I just want you guys to be warned. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I just want everybody to be aware of
to hit
what is going on. Because they've already done this in the Ukraine, and I've noticed that our internet is kind of messing up as well. So I guess it's better to be aware and, keep tabs on what's going on without getting panicked. So we're going to get that out of the way. What up, Scott H? Checking convictions. Crazy Acres. My headache's gone, thank God. But I've been up since 3 a.m. And it's like now I'm on Coke Zero. I'm coffeeed out. Coffeed right out. So pound that like button. We're going to see if we can't get to 500. That is the goal. That is the goal. Okay, so what do we have here? This is the first video that we're going to play about these cyber attacks, and this will give us a little more information here, and then we'll discuss.
not only on the ground, by land and sea, but also a government and bank websites with cyber attacks. And it has been happening. Homeland Security officials in the U.S. are worried about similar cyber attacks here at home. Kelsey Kernstein is digging into what this means and how it could affect all of us. Kelsey.
Well, Adrian, the Ukraine government says that Russia has infected its computers and those of neighboring countries with data wiping software. Cyber experts warn as U.S. sanctions against Russia increase, cyber attacks against the U.S. will increase too. U.S. leaders have an urgent message for Americans. Shields up, quoting, every organization in the U.S. is at risk of cyber threats. More than ever before, Russia may take retaliatory action in response to sanctions.
Russia is one of the top cyber powers. They've been investing in this capability for 35 plus years.
Ukraine's government blaming Russia for cyber attacks on government websites, banks, and defense capabilities.
Denial of service attacks are pretty easy for folks to do and pretty hard to defend against.
The Department of Homeland Security and the White House says there is no specific threat, but the threat is real. And when I asked a cybersecurity expert, how bad could it get?
If they think they have nothing to lose, the gloves will come off and they'll try to inflict the maximum amount of pain on us.
Hackers could shut down banks, hospitals, transportation, power grids, and businesses, even taking down money wiring systems.
Imagine if your company is trying to do payroll and deposit money into your bank account, but they actually can't aggregate the money for the payroll because they have not gotten wires from their customers.
They could cause disastrous issues to the stock market.
Interrupt things enough that potentially close the stock market because it can't be run effectively. It's not fair trading because things are down.
Even impairing our military, sabotaging our satellites regionally.
The Russian military does have a weapon system called Peresvet, which has the ability to essentially dazzle satellites, temporarily blind them, and prevent them from operating.
What we need private sector companies to do is harden their cybersecurity capabilities now. Now is the time to do it.
Cyber experts tell me that small to medium-sized businesses that do not have cyber attack mitigation plans are the most at risk for threats. So how do we keep ourselves safe? DHS says to ensure your software and antivirus systems are up to date, take steps to quickly notice an intrusion on your software, have a crisis plan, and always have a backup from your network connections.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so all those suggestions probably aren't very helpful when it comes to the Russians' technology. I don't think our antivirus software is going to help, but it can't hurt for the smaller end ones. But it's scary to think that possibly our banks could be shut down by a cyber attack. Do I think they'll get them back up and running? Yes. Could we be without access to our money? Yes. Am I going to go take money out of the ATM? Yes. So, I mean, it's just about being prepared, right? I don't want to scare anyone. I'm not trying to put like fear factor out there, but just, prepare. I don't know what a backup network would be, but I'd love to have one of those because I don't have a backup network unless you're talking about cell phones. But if our cell phones go down, I have a feeling we won't be able to get a cell signal, because what happens is then the cell lines get bogged down. And I remember back when we had the blackout. I can't remember what year it was, but we couldn't even freaking make a phone call because we could not access the cell signals. They were overloaded. 9/11, same thing. So if everybody gets on their cell phones, it's going to be bogged down. So what is our backup? Because I can't be disconnected from everybody. I need a backup. What can we do? I mean, tin cans and string. Potato said we're going to have to be pen pals. I mean, it's weird. But then you have to have postal workers and people to deliver the mail. A landline. But is it a landline? They say they're landlines, Tracy S., but they're run off Wi-Fi. I don't think any hardwired phones exist anymore. I think they're all digital. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we need walkie-talkies, Morse code. Okay, here's the second video we're going to watch on this subject, and this will give us a little more information.
Morning, security officials on alert for possible Russian cyber attacks, not just in Europe, but here in the U.S.
This country, taken as a whole, is not ready for a massive cyber attack.
Former Trump administration Homeland Security advisor Tom Bossert points to last summer when ransomware hackers believed to be affiliated with Russia shut down the Colonial gas pipeline running from Houston to New York by hitting the company's billing system, not its industrial controls.
Most businesses in this country are very vulnerable despite all of the good work being done by the federal government. The federal government's not protecting directly their networks.
Senate Intelligence Committee Chair Mark Warner warns Putin has not yet unleashed Russia's full cyber capabilities.
If the Russians launch a more massive cyber attack and, for example, try to shut down all the power in Ukraine, you can't control once you unleash cyber weapons, malware, by geographic locations. That kind of incursion could move us into what could be potentially viewed as a Article 5 attack against Poland. That, by definition, means if you attack one NATO nation, you attack all of them.
But would a cyber attack, which could easily extend across borders into NATO countries, drag the U.S. into war by triggering Article 5?
That, again, is up to the NATO alliance to determine, but obviously a cyber attack does constitute an attack, so that would certainly be a point of discussion among the NATO members.
Yikes.
Whether it would actually cause a reaction, it would likely be a response in the cyber arena.
In the meantime, the Homeland Security Department is urging American companies and local governments to act now to secure their networks. Mona?
Okay, so secure your networks, whatever that means, right? It sounds to me like they say Russia has, like, outdone us in technology department, and we are not prepared. So nothing like just letting them know, hey, we're unprepared, and this is our weakness.
Roberta.
So you guys just be aware and prepare accordingly, I guess, as much as possible. I just wanted to bring that to yours attentions. Just because, you know, we are seeing glitches already on YouTube. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I have noticed in several streamers that, you know, you're getting booted and then you're back. So, and that was happening to me yesterday as well. And it happened all night last night. I know on Mr. Share's live, they couldn't even play a video at one point. So it was really weird. Okay. So one more other thing while we're on the government talk.
News tonight
and this is something that I found to be just kind of scary. It seems like ever since this vaccine came out that they keep telling us we need more and more and more. So what came out last night is that Moderna is saying now you're going to need a fourth vaccine in the fall. And I don't know how people who are vaccinated feel about that, getting vaccine number 4.
Pandemic here and the possibility of a fourth COVID shot, essentially the second booster. Moderna executives signaling today that they believe their second booster could be needed this fall, particularly for vulnerable people as immunity wanes and if any potential new variants emerge. The company right now is developing a booster targeting both the Delta and Omicron variants. So far, the CDC only recommending another booster for the immunocompromised.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so I kind of wanted to play that just to kind of get your guys' thoughts on the fourth vaccine. How do you guys feel about that? Actually, you know what? Let's do a poll really quick. I'm just curious. A lot of you are saying I didn't think a lot of you would be unvaccinated. Kind of get your guys' thoughts. Let's see how many of you guys are vaccinated. Okay, so there is your poll. And then I want to do another one to see who's had COVID and who hasn't. I'd be curious, how many have not come down with COVID? Black Widow says, welcome to the new normal. Yeah, right? I think our world as we know it, here, let me come back here. I think our world as we knew it is done. I mean, how can you go back? Because now we're going to come up with even more technology to get through. So I think this is going to become the turning point where we see that huge change that everyone has been predicting, where technology flies light years ahead of us. It's a little scary. Heather says, the only shots I'm taking are tequila shots. I don't know if I'd even do a tequila shot. I might throw up. So let's let that poll roll for a few minutes, and then we will check back. Because right now, we're pretty much almost 50-50. But I think that'll change as we get more people in here and get more votes, because I'm just curious. Interesting that it's 50-50. Hey, Lizzie. Hey, Fancy Plants. I mean, I would be like irritated if I got the vaccine and then they kept saying, oh, you're going to need another one. You're going to need another one. I'm going to be like, damn. By the fall, I would be ready for a booster again. In the fall, I would take a booster. I know some of you don't care. I mean, some of you are good with it. Some of you guys need it. If you have weakened immunities, the risk outweighs the benefits outweigh the risk. Oh my gosh, Rose Star, I am so sorry. Rose Star said, my husband got all 3 vaccines and booster. He is now a diabetic and lost all his toes. This morning had a stroke. Was he not diabetic prior to the vaccine, or did he get COVID as well? I don't get the flu vaccine. I've never gotten a flu shot. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Well, gosh, I mean, just pumping more and more of that. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a whole political discussion, but at any rate, I wanted to see where everybody stood with that vaccine and how you felt about the 4th up and coming, right? So let's get into our first case. And this is going to be kind of an urgent thing. This is an Amber Alert that was issued. And this was issued Thursday night. And this, I guess, is an update. This is a Texas Amber Alert for a missing 11-month-old girl, Harmony Rodriguez.
Reporting on an Amber Alert out of Fort Worth. I want to have you take a look at your screen right now. You see on the left, 11-month-old Harmony Rodriguez. Police say she may be in danger and may be with her non-custodial father, Lancelot Dawkins. You can see him on the right of your screen. Now, they say she was last seen around 9:30 last night wearing a yellow and brown onesie. Investigators think she may be in a white Jeep Wrangler, similar to the one you see on your screen there. If anybody has any information, police are asking that you give them a call.
So wanted to play that absolutely for awareness. Amber Alert for a Texas 11-month-old girl. So hopefully she is found safe. Wish they would have given the information in the video, but they didn't. So this is going to be our first case, and this is a very sad story. So I want to preface this by saying, trigger alert.
A difficult.
This is a very hard case to listen to. So I'm just forewarning you that trigger alert, this involves the death of a child, and it's not a very good story. So this is another story of yet another boyfriend of a mother being arrested for killing her kid. And this is courtesy of Court TV. So let's take a listen to this case.
Alyssa Bethencourt, reporter with our great affiliate KTNV in Las Vegas, has some of the details for us tonight.
Neighbors that we spoke with say they had no idea that something so sinister was going on right next door. One woman, Alberta Amezcua, she says she knew the little boy found dead inside of that freezer very well, and her heart has been broken into pieces since she learned the news.
He was so cute, so, just outgoing and happy. I found the tape outside and my heart dropped.
Now, police believe that little boy's body had been in the freezer since early December. They first learned of the crime after the boy's older sister handed a note over to her teacher. The note, which was written by their mother, said she was being held against her will and she wasn't sure if her son was still alive because she hadn't seen him since December. The teacher called police, who immediately went to the home and saw the mother leaving with her boyfriend. Police stopped the car and brought both of them in for questioning, and that's when things took a tragic turn. Now, the man accused of doing this currently facing an open murder charge. Police are still in the beginning stages of their investigation. They're asking anybody with information to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 702-385-5555. Reporting, I'm Alyssa Bethencourt.
How does this happen? Why does this happen? Those are questions that...
Horrible, right? So let's skip over him because I'll get struck for Vinny's commentary. So let's go here to the homicide lieutenant.
Clark County School District Police received a report that a child who is in elementary school went to school today with a note from her mother. That note indicated that the mom was being held against her will at a house directly behind me. She also stated that she did not know the whereabouts of her preschool-aged child. She believed that the child could possibly be deceased. Upon receiving that note, school police then contacted Metro. At that point, we were advised and began an investigation. Patrol officers and detectives set up surveillance on the house that's located directly behind me, and about 10 o'clock this morning, they observed a male leaving the residence with a female. Patrol officers stopped the vehicle and detained the male, who is a Hispanic male in his late 30s. The female inside the car is the mother of the child who was at the school. That mother was interviewed, and she stated that she had not seen her child alive since December 11th. During the course of that interview, she described that she had undergone abuse by her boyfriend, who she lived with, and had been inquiring about the whereabouts of her child and believed that the child may possibly be deceased. She stated that she was not allowed to leave the house, and she was not able to go into the garage of the residence. After getting that information, homicide detectives were notified, and at that point, we assumed charge of the investigation. Once we obtained a search warrant about 2 hours ago, we entered the house and discovered the remains of a preschool-aged child inside of a freezer inside the garage of the house directly behind me.
Is the suspect the father of either of the children?
The suspect is not the father of either of the two children. He's the he's the boyfriend of the mother.
So many questions tonight, and I don't know if we ever get answers to them on how this happens, but let's bring in our guests tonight. Joining me in Salt Lake City, Utah, private investigator Rob Joseph. In Chicago, Illinois, private investigator Erica Morse. And in Los Angeles, California, forensic psychiatrist, trial expert witness, and columnist, Dr. Carol Lieberman. Welcome to all of you. Dr. Lieberman, let me start with you, because the first thing that strikes everyone about this story is...
Okay, what was the question? What's he reading off of? I don't know. I'm not going to play this whole thing, but I want to show you guys this part here.
And if there are other children, wait for that opportune moment. So I am very cautious here because I work with DV victims every day, and I refuse to re-victimize a victim. Clearly, there has been egregious abuse here, and clearly one child is deceased and another was probably in extreme danger.
Rob Joseph, your thoughts tonight? What questions do you have about this case, this tragedy, this murder?
Yeah, I mean, these types of cases are just so baffling, especially when you're dealing with a woman that is in an abusive relationship, and she would have known fairly rarely. I think she would have known pretty soon into the relationship what type of relationship she was in. And I, as a police officer, find this type of situation when I was a police officer just so too common, where women are in an abusive relationship, you get called on a domestic violence case, and when you move to arrest the husband, the wife will jump on your back or throw a chair at you or interfere because now she's fearful that he's going to jail. She called because she feared for her life, or maybe the neighbors called, and now he's going to jail. And I don't know that they have the confidence that the system works all the time, but they do know that person's going to get out of jail eventually, and they're going to retaliate against them. And so I know there is a degree of fear. The questions I'd be looking at, though, are, with your son missing for 2 months and your daughter going to school every day, was there an opportunity before this time to alert somebody to what was going on? And we have no idea. I mean, you try to get into the mind of the victim here, and she is a victim. How much she knew, how much she was fearful of the retaliation against the other daughter, or the other child, and, what he could do to her. I know it's a real thing. I've seen it as a police officer. I deal with it as a private investigator when people call me and the police aren't acting on real concerns that, women have on domestic violence, and they call a private investigator to really dig into who this person is, to watch, to try to catch them in some other type of domestic violence situation so that you can alert the police that this is credible. There is a lot of questions, just like you had mentioned in the opening. There are a lot of questions, there are a lot of concerns, and there needs to be a very thorough investigation to determine what role, if any, the mother might have had in this, and whether or not he was using that against her. We just don't know.
Okay, so my thoughts are this. The mother said she hasn't seen her own kid since December, since the beginning of December. If she was going to send a note, why did she wait until almost March? Thank you, Steve.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, Cher. Surprised to see Cher up so early after becoming a Canadian mounted princess. last night. But this guy definitely recognizes the problems with domestic violence. And you saw that when, he was talking about women feel scared of that retaliation, the two women below him were both nodding their heads in agreement. It's so true. There goes Slack connection. What do you mean? What are you talking about? So nonetheless, sad. So take a look at this. This is where this is really disturbing. Okay, so let's look at this. This was found. Here's some evidence they found in the backyard of this home.
Let's take a look. It's about 8 feet deep. This hole. It looks like it's concrete. What is going on here? What is going on in this home? Carol Lieberman, forensic psychiatrist. I'm looking at this and I'm wondering, what's the end game? What was this all about? Who was going to be buried in there, or was it for something else? What is going on here, Carol?
Yes, it looks a lot bigger than for just a little 4-year-old boy who was still in the freezer. So yes, was he going to kill the mother and kill the daughter because he didn't want witnesses? He didn't want them going to the police afterwards? Quite possibly. He has a public defender, and the public defender is asking for a competency hearing, hinting that maybe the man has some psychological problems that would not allow him to be able to aid in his own defense and to understand the proceedings against him. But, clearly, because he did have this prior domestic violence incident for which he sort of beat up this woman, and he left, and then he came back and he called 911 from her phone, and then he left. So they didn't know where he was, and then he happened to have been stopped. That was in 2018, and then 2019 he was stopped by a cop for almost running into pedestrians, and they looked him up. And they saw that he had this warrant for domestic violence, and that's when he went to a class for impulse control, an 8-hour class for impulse control. And, that always, it's better than nothing, but obviously it didn't work. And really people with this serious, this serious anger problem, it all starts really, domestic violence, men who commit domestic violence start with having been raised by a mother who abandoned them, at least emotionally. And that they develop rage towards women and they take it out on them. He may well have even deeper problems than that, but unfortunately, the punishment that he got, the 8 hours plus community service, plus a fine, plus he was going to get 90 days in jail, but then they suspended that sentence and he didn't get it.
Wow.
We will continue to follow this story as more information comes out.
Yeah, and so will we, because that is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. So if you guys just tuned in, that was a case. Hold on a second. Slack is working just fine. I've been in Slack the whole time I've been live. There's nothing wrong. That is, oh my gosh. Where'd it go? I think it's Texas. Pretty sure it's Texas.
A difficult one. It's got a lot of layers to it. We're still trying to figure out what happened. But it is extremely tragic and shocking all at once. I will tell you this. A young child was murdered. That child was found in a freezer. This is all taking place out in Nevada. Alyssa Bethencourt, reporter with our great affiliate.
Yeah, Nevada. I thought it was Texas. The Texas one is the Amber Alert. So again, there is an Amber Alert for This baby here, 11-month-old girl, Harmony Rodriguez, she's been missing since Thursday night. Fort Worth police is looking for her and her father, her paternal father. So that is that. We will keep an eye on the poor baby preschooler found in a freezer with this weird ass grave thing hole dug in the backyard.
Ashley, nobody said yikes, he hasn't come home, Ashley.
So you guys, when you tuned in, did you see the little video, the Scott Peterson video? It should have played like a little trailer or something. It's kind of just a little brief recap on the case. So today starts Scott Peterson's evidentiary hearing. And it's from 10 a.m. to 3:45 Pacific time. I put the link in the community if you guys want to listen along. It cannot be streamed. It cannot be recorded. I mean, I guess it can if you want to, take a chance of being held in contempt, which I don't, because this is a big case and I think they would actually follow through with it. So, I'm not going to be streaming it, but I am going to be listening to it so that I can update you guys, because what's going to be going on here is, hang on. What the hell? Wrong screen. I didn't mean to share that one. Because what's going to be going on here is Strawberry Shortcake, who is the and there's Scott. Strawberry Shortcake, who was the juror who lied on her jury questionnaire, will be testifying, and she has been granted immunity for this hearing so that she'll tell the damn truth. So this is going to be going on for 5 days straight. It starts today and it's going to go through the 4th, I believe. So I followed it very closely. This is a case that I have, it's a pretty big case to me. So, if you don't know about it, I did play that little recap, but also tomorrow night, which is Saturday, I'm going to be over drawing, or I'm not going to be drawing, but Scott Skulls is going to be drawing Scott Peterson in his own way. It's going to be like his creation of Scott Peterson. And I'm going to be talking about the case. Strawberry Shortcake looking ass. So I will be doing that tomorrow, and I will recap you guys on what happens during the hearing. But I'm super stoked to hear Strawberry Shortcake testify. You guys didn't see the little trailer? It didn't work? And no matter what your feelings are and what you think he did or didn't do, I think we need to remember that everybody is entitled to a fair trial. And if Strawberry Shortcake lied on her jury thing, then he did not receive a fair trial. So due process is due process, right? I mean, it is what it is. Shit. What am I doing? All right. I need to get back to my video. Here we go. Is that it? No. I got too many damn windows open. Is that it? No. I have so many window captures open. I need to get rid of some of these. You guys hear my stomach growling? But hey, you know what? You wouldn't want your family member having a juror that would lie like that. Lie like a rug. Oh, shoot. I was going to get rid of that poll and put up the second one. Hold on. Okay, we'll put that back up. There we go. There we go. The blue is definitely my color. Oh, if you like this blue, then I'm gonna pump it like Mr. Cher's mugs. You can get this top in my merch store. Get your own Carlton Reserve t-shirt today. Yo. Hey.
Roberta.
I'm going to just get a Roberters. You guys are all my Roberters, so I'm going to have to make Roberters merch. But I won't make it stupid. I'll make it so it's cool. Like, you'll actually want to wear it. Like, you won't be embarrassed. Can I recap what Strawberry Shortcake did? Yeah, for sure. I would love to. I love talking about that case. When I say I love this case or whatever, I mean, it's something that I like talking about and discussing with people. Get this, you guys. You want to talk about the real estate market? Someone in Tampa bought a house for $3.8 million and turned around and sold it for $9.5 million. That is some crazy stuff right there. That tells you how out of control the real estate market is here. So I don't know if it's like that all over, but here definitely it is out of control, out of hand. There's people that can't even afford to rent, and it's like a crisis here. They're in like all this. They're bringing out all these funds and things to help people get into apartments and stuff. It's insane. It's insane. Satin.
Roberta.
Okay, so what was I going to play? The Scott Peterson thingy. Let me find that, because I have a video I made on that whole thing that transpired that got him where he is today, as far as the new trial and stuff like that. So I think this... You hear Eagle 8's coming in for landing. We got to get some fuel. Can you guys hear that? Probably not. Okay, so first his death sentence got overturned in 2020. That was the first thing. So he was to be taken off death row anyway. And then came the information that the Strawberry Shortcake had lied. So I think it's this video. Let me see.
Stanislaus County DA.
Yes, this is it. Let's watch this one first. Hang on. Because this hearing starts at 1 o'clock Eastern, which is my time. So I definitely have to go before that because, yeah, I just do. And it's not video, you guys. It's only audio. So there's not going to be any video. All right, give me a second. You guys heard it. We're coming in for fuel. JB, we got to stand down. All right, here we go. There we go. So there you have it. He was sentenced in 2005. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. All right, this is about 5 minutes long, so let's watch this and then we will reconvene.
Roberta.
This Stanislaus County DA recently filed some court documents that accuse Peterson's defense team of going on a witch hunt against Rochelle Nice, and I was just wondering how you feel about that term, witch hunt.
I think the Stanislaus County DA's office using the term witch hunt is a little ironic, given the fact that they have put on a 16-year witch hunt against Scott Peterson.
Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. So dramatic. Scott Peterson appeared by phone in court yesterday, Wednesday, August 25th. A California judge said Wednesday that she anticipates a 2-week hearing early next year before she decides if Scott Peterson deserves a new trial in the 2002 death of his pregnant wife. That's more than a year after the California Supreme Court ordered Superior Court Judge Ann Christine Masulo to consider if juror misconduct was so significant that it denied him a fair trial. Masulo is expected to hear testimony from juror Rochelle Nice, who is at the center of the dispute and has denied that she was influenced by her own background of domestic abuse. Nice is identified in court papers as juror number 7, but she co-authored a book about the case with 6 other jurors. That hearing would get to the, quote, meat and potatoes of what the jurors' information is. Deputy Stanislaus County District Attorney Dave Harris said, Masulo must decide if Nice committed prejudicial misconduct by failing to disclose that she had sought a restraining order in 2000 for fear that her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend could harm Nice's own unborn child. Peterson's attorneys revealed in a June court filing that Nice also failed to disclose that her boyfriend beat her in 2001 when she was pregnant with another child. As a prospective juror, Nice had answered no when she was asked if she was ever involved in a lawsuit or had been a crime victim. Nice said in a court filing that she didn't think the restraining order was a lawsuit, nor did she feel victimized, the way the law might define that term.
The Stanislaus County DA recently filed some court documents that accuse Peterson's defense team of going on a witch hunt against Rochelle Nice, and I was just wondering how you feel about that term, witch hunt.
I think the Stanislaus County DA's office using the term witch hunt is a little ironic, given the fact that they have put on a 16-year witch hunt against Scott Peterson. I think it is somewhat difficult for us to understand why they don't want the truth to come out. We find it very difficult to understand why they wouldn't, as prosecutors and as their role to do justice, why they wouldn't want the information about Rochelle Nice to come out. We are perplexed by that and don't understand why it is that they continue to fight this when all we are trying to do is get at the truth. We have no understanding of why their position is to continue to try and obfuscate and delay when some of these facts are very clear, they're very obvious. The prosecution themselves provided some of these facts in their own declarations, and now they're backtracking on their own evidence. So for them to accuse the defense of a witch hunt is somewhat ironic, as I said.
Masulo said she wanted to schedule the evidentiary hearing for October, but she still might try to do it in early November. But she said delays in gathering evidence and sworn witness testimony, partly because of the coronavirus pandemic, make it more likely she will schedule the hearing for 2 weeks in late January of 2022 or early February, after the winter holiday. She expects to set the dates during a September 22nd hearing after considering several legal filings in the meantime. If Peterson gets a new trial, his attorney has said he will present new evidence bolstering the defense theory that Laci Peterson was killed when she stumbled upon a nearby burglary. Investigators said that on Christmas Eve 2002, Peterson dumped the bodies from his fishing boat into the San Francisco Bay, where they surfaced months later. And we will continue to follow the Scott Peterson case here at J is for Justice, as we wait to see if this juror who celebrated Scott Peterson's conviction and ultimate death sentence will be the one to ultimately give him a new trial. You just can't make this stuff up, guys. I bet you couldn't tell if that was me live or me in the video. So, yeah, I mean, here we go. That's the recap on Strawberry Shortcake. So that's what she did. And let's see here. So that starts in about an hour and a half. Like I said, the link is in the community. It is not allowed to be streamed. It is audio only. You're not allowed to stream it. You're not allowed to record it. So I literally have to listen, and then I will recap you guys and tell you what happened. Or you can listen along and we can discuss, which would be even more fun. So if you have time and you're interested in this case, please, please listen to it and we can absolutely discuss this. And I want to do let's do one more thing. Let's actually play. Okay, so we can do one of two things. We can play my recap of the Scott Peterson case, which is approximately, let me see how long it is. The F is it? 9 minutes. So we can watch the 9-minute case timeline overview, which I think Scott Skulls needs to see either way, since he's going to be drawing Peterson tomorrow. So that might help with your little recap. Yeah, Bella's growling at someone. What'd you say, Carrie? I've never tested positive for COVID either. I've never had a COVID test. The link to listen is in my community post. Let me grab it. Or one of the mods maybe can grab it, because I don't want to switch screens right now. I kind of moved my screen over so I could see you guys again. I got my eyes on you.
Don't make me cut your mic in the first 3 minutes of the show, please.
It is Pacific time, so it's 10 a.m. Pacific, which would be 12 Central and 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There is a link in the community tab, and that takes you right to the court website. The public has a right to listen. You just cannot broadcast or record. So we can either watch the recap or we can do two more stories. You're right. I can't. Every time I see your name, like when I saw you in Scott H's earlier, I was like, God, I want to play that sound clip right now. Yeah, pound those likes, guys. I'm not seeing them climb like they did yesterday. We're at 2, or what are we at? I don't even know. I can't see right now, I guess. But anyways, which one do you guys want? Recap or two news stories? The choice is yours. Either way, I'm going to need this screen bigger. They're all going to laugh at you. Recap. All right, I saw recap a couple times. Sweet. Thank you, Heather. Heather went and grabbed the trial link. It's right there. And if you cannot get that link to work, it is totally on the sanmataeocourt.org website. I appreciate you too, Carrie. I do.
I think you've got a Ouija board down your pants. You're going to pull that out.
Nancy Grace is crazy as hell. Okay. Here we go. It feels nice to play a video and not have to worry if it's going to get struck because it's your own shiz. Even with fair use, you worry about getting struck like lightning.
Roly-poly, daddy's little fatty. Daddy's gonna be a man someday.
If you'd like to catch that band again, they're going to be playing in Kingsport this weekend. You might be able to catch Tim Mullen Media over there. He might be promoting his new YouTube channel that just premiered 3 days ago. You're going to want to go check that out for sure. He tells the story of how he came to Ben Hill Road. You don't want to miss that. In the meantime, we're going to go to the Scott Peterson and Laci Peterson story. This is a case timeline overview here at J is for Justice.
Can I help you? Yes, my son-in-law called. He went playing golf this morning at 9:30. My daughter's been missing since this morning. She's 8 months pregnant. She took her dog for a walk in the park. My name is Ron. I'm her stepdad. Okay, what is your name? Ransky. G-R-A-N-S-K-Y? R-A-N-T-S-K-I. Her husband, Scott Peterson, is on his way over the park to try to... What's your stepdaughter's name? Scott Peterson. No, your stepdaughter. Laci Peterson. Laci, P-E-T-E-R-S-O-N, right? P-E-T-E-R-S-O-N. And she's white, black, Hispanic, Asian? She's Portuguese and white. How old is she? She's 26. What time did she leave the house and didn't come back? That we don't know. We just got a call from our son-in-law. Said he left this morning at 9:30 to play golf. He just got home about a half hour ago. Nowhere around. And she's 8 months pregnant, you said? Pardon? You said she's 8 months pregnant? Yes, ma'am. The dog came home without the leash, right? The dog came home on the leash without her. Okay, you're going to... So her husband's looking for her right now. Are you going to stay here at the... I'll stay here if I have to stay here. We're going to send a master over there as soon as they're available. Okay, you're at right now. Okay, good. Okay, and her husband's name was? Scott. Scott Peterson. Do you know what he's wearing? No, he just called me from the house. I have no idea. He's walking, he's going over with his phone. He's not in his house. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll have to come out as soon as they're available. Okay. Okay? Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to J is for Justice. I am your host, Jay, with you today. Wow, with the old school intro. If you like what you see here today, please consider subscribing. And if you could give this video a thumbs up, that is always greatly appreciated. Oh, yes.
Live guest on a podcast called J is for Justice.
I think there's just hope that she returns no matter what. Oh my God, that's Megan's house. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And then... Wait a second, you guys. We have breaking news. All of a sudden in the chat, there was... My son actually made this beat and this intro for me. It says it may be connected to a high-profile case.
That's her best friend.
There's a lot of buzz on the news and on the internet at the potential of Scott Peterson receiving a new trial. Dre and I are working on a deep dive into this case. Wait a second, But first, I wanted to give a brief time. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I played the wrong video. Sorry. My bad. Pretend I didn't say that. Of the case itself. Did you know that you can listen to J is for Justice anywhere that you can listen to a podcast? Oh. Search us up on your favorite podcast player today. Wow. Now, let's do this. So as we look back, when this all happened, Laci Peterson disappeared on Christmas Eve of 2002. Scott Peterson told police that he had been fishing in Berkeley that day, and when he came home, she was gone. Nearly 4 months later in April, the bodies of Laci and her unborn son were found a few miles from where Peterson said he was fishing.
Pretty much got all I'm going to do. Let's just go over what we already talked about so I can make some notes. See if you remember something that you don't. Maybe you won't know you remember it. So, today, just tell me about the morning.
Okay. I don't know what time I got up. Probably Laci got up and went and soon she had some cereal for breakfast. She eats right when she wakes up, otherwise she gets sick because she's pregnant. I laid around in bed longer. I got up at 8 o'clock probably or so. Showered. We were watching her favorite show, Martha Stewart. Watched a little bit of that.
You didn't watch the whole thing, though?
No.
You remember what part you saw? I mean, I don't know what
some cooking deal. I don't know. Cookies of some sort. They're talking about what to do with meringue.
And I can't remember. Your house, you had the converted garage area. Is that your TV room, like?
Yeah.
Is that where you were then?
Can I cut in here and just commentary for a second? So what's interesting about the Martha Stewart show and the fact he remembered the meringue, she was watching Martha Stewart and he watched it with her. So it was in the show. So what they did was they went back to the Martha Stewart show and they saw what time that meringue segment would have aired. And the thing is, it fit right with Scott's timeline. So that's part of how they put the timeline together. It's just really interesting to me. Because we didn't have like the digital footprint like we do now. Like we did, like, you know, back then in 2002.
Okay, did you eat any breakfast?
Yeah, apple cereal.
Okay, and then what? When did you realize you were going to go fishing?
Oh, that was a morning decision. It's either go play golf at the club or go fishing.
Okay.
Seemed too cold to go play golf at the club, so yeah, just decided to, 9:30 or whatever than that. Just told her what she was going to do for the day, and
okay, so she told you what she was going to do for the day.
Yeah.
And what was that?
She's going to finish cleaning up. Like I said, she's mopping the kitchen floor. Take the dog for a walk, and then she's going to the store to buy for Christmas morning breakfast tomorrow. And that was going to be involved prep. So that was her afternoon, just prepping the breakfast, and she's going to make gingerbread cookies for tonight.
5 days after the bodies were found, Scott Peterson was arrested. Investigators found a strand of hair matching hairs on Laci's hairbrush, stuck to pliers on his boat. In 2004, he was convicted of murdering Laci and his unborn son, Connor. He was sentenced to death row.
Scott Peterson, on death row for the murder of his pregnant wife, Laci, is speaking out for the first time about the guilty verdict.
I was staggered by it. I had no idea it was coming.
The trial of Scott Peterson riveted the nation back in 2005. When the verdict came down, people cheered in the streets.
We find the defendant, Scott Lee Peterson, guilty of the crime of murder of Laci Denise Peterson.
Peterson describes that moment in a phone call to his sister Janie.
There's just like this amazing, horrible.
I just want to say, I know I'm such a Scott Peterson case junkie, but I just want to say his description of what he is having a freaking major panic attack, and his description is to a T. At least for me and my experiences, I've had problems with panic attacks and anxiety, but the panic attacks, God, how he explains it is just how I feel. It's just, I resonate with that so much. It's crazy. Because it's hard to put a panic attack into words, you know?
That moment in a phone call to his sister Janie.
There's just like this amazing, horrible physical reaction that I had. I couldn't feel my feet on the floor. I couldn't feel the chair I was sitting in. My vision was even a little blurry. And I just had this weird sensation that I was falling forward and down, and there was going to be no end to this falling forward and down, like there was no floor to land on.
August of this year, the state Supreme Court overturned Peterson's death sentence, and justices cited significant errors in jury selection.
Development in a case that gripped the Bay Area 16 years ago. The state Supreme Court today overturned the death penalty sentence of Scott Peterson. He's the Modesto man convicted of murdering his wife Laci Peterson and the couple's unborn child. NBC Bay Area's Joe Rosado Jr. shows us while the court upheld his guilty verdict, the penalty phase may be going back to court.
If you were to set your Wayback Machine for the winter of 2004, chances are every headline, every newscast would include the trial of Scott Peterson, the Modesto fertilizer salesman accused of murdering his wife Laci and their unborn son Connor.
It was bigger than OJ. It was bigger than the Manson case.
The Redwood City trial lasted 6 months, with the jury convicting Peterson of murdering his wife on Christmas would include the trial of Scott Peterson, the Modesto fertilizer salesman accused of murdering his wife Laci and their unborn son Connor.
It was bigger than OJ. It was bigger than the Manson case.
The Redwood City trial lasted 6 months, with the jury convicting Peterson of murdering his wife on Christmas Eve of 2000. The court ultimately upheld Peterson's murder conviction, but today's ruling gives his attorneys the option of seeking a new penalty phase trial or accept a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Johnson says either way, Peterson's attorneys will likely appeal his case to a federal court, raising the possibility a trial of the decade could have a part 2. Joe Rosado Jr., NBC Bay Area News.
And then last week, we saw the court ruled that a judge must consider whether Peterson's murder convictions should be tossed out because of juror misconduct. We will continue following the latest developments on this case on J is for Justice on YouTube and also on Facebook. Facebook? What? You can tell that's old. I published this in October of 2020. Wow. That's crazy. It seems like just yesterday, but then it doesn't, you know? Craziness. Bigger than OJ? Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that sentiment. They're all going to laugh at you. I'm going to start, I say that like in my head during the, it's crazy. It's just nuts. I'm trying to see if I have anything else on Peterson that would be pertinent. Oh, this might be a good one. Oh, shit. No, maybe not. Yikes, Ashley. Old school, Jay. This is August of 2020. This is a live. Oh, this might not be a good one to play. Let's see. I kind of like the old beat. How about y'all?
A live guest on a podcast called J is for Justice.
I think they're just hopeful that she returns no matter what. Oh my God, that's Megan's house. Oh my God.
Oh, Megan is the girl that's in this video.
Breaking news. All of a sudden in the chat, there was breaking news that there was a raid going on in Houston, Texas. It may be connected to a high-profile case.
That's her best friend. She would not be there.
Oh, let's see what this is all about.
Hello. I hope everybody can hear me.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Hey.
Oh, wow. Hi.
What do we have here? Hey, guys. I just wanted to report on the Scott Peterson appeal because we watched the hearing.
I cannot.
on my channel, so I wanted to follow up. I am going to read what is out there. I'll pull it up on the screen, and then we can talk about it. So let me pull up. I'm going to pull up
just when I think
the article from the Modesto.
Just when I think that I haven't improved, I watch an old stream and I realize that I definitely have improved.
Explain exactly what this means. I know they said that his guilty verdict still stood. So whatever that means, we'll read it.
I definitely improved my audio, right?
Alrighty, so here we go. We have court delivers decisions on Scott Peterson appeal. Let me make it.
Oh,
so
we
you
know the
guys can see it.
refinance, right?
I can't see it. Alrighty, so here we go. And that right there, who's in that video, that's Scott's sister, Janie. So it says the California Supreme Court on Monday rejected Scott Peterson's claim that he received an unfair trial and affirmed his convictions for the murder of his wife, Laci, and their unborn son, Connor.
I'm dying here.
But the court said that because of errors by the trial court during jury selection, Peterson's right to an impartial jury during the penalty phase was undermined. It was during the penalty phase that jurors decided on a death for Peterson. Prosecutors can retry the penalty phase if they want to seek a death sentence. If they don't, then Peterson's punishment becomes life in prison. California stopped executing prisoners in 2006 because of legal challenges over the 3-drug method it was using. It faced more challenges as it tried to come up with a new drug protocol. And Governor Gavin Newsom put in place a moratorium on the death penalty in March of 2019, suspending all executions while he was governor. But only the state's voters can abolish the death penalty. Peterson's case is far from finished. He has another appeal pending and can pursue remedies through the federal courts. So
and look at
there you go. So what I'm gathering from this is that he's still guilty. He's still guilty of murdering Connor and Laci. That didn't change. What they did was took death penalty off the table, even though they don't kill anyone in California. So really, I mean, did anything really change? No. But is
I wish I could
this
see my
making them
sub-count
look
up there.
at
It's
the
cut
jury
off.
selection? Yes. And if the jury wasn't fair, yes.
Roberta.
So there's more appeals to come. But he is still, if they don't pursue the death penalty again, he's in jail, in prison. So what are your guys' thoughts? I see a lot of shocked, mad people. But don't you think if there was something that went wrong in jury selection that he deserves a fair jury? I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I feel like, you know, if that was my brother,
I just
thank
said
God
this.
it wasn't. But if that was my brother, you know, I'd want things to be fair for him. I'd want him to get, you know, a fair trial and a jury that's not biased, right? I mean, we have to kind of put our emotions aside sometimes, even though it's hard. And I think that we have to look at, you know, everything from a factual
Skulls.
judicial standpoint. And
That's
think
so
about it that
funny.
way. I know what happened
Roberta.
to Laci and Connor wasn't fair. I mean, by no means, but it is our constitutional rights to have a fair trial and an impartial jury, if that's even possible these days. But I think it's very, very hard to get an impartial jury, but the experts say it's not. They say that And you have to remember too, his case was circumstantial.
Oh my God.
There was a lot of circumstantial evidence.
Let's see if I play anything else. Oh, I finally got, look how long I went trying to get that damn picture up. From probably the time I took that article off at 4 minutes. 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I moved myself over to the right. Almost 7 minutes I got him positioned. I was very proud of myself.
This
is pretty much the worst video
when
ever
the
made.
murderer has to be fair. Well, Tootsie, since we have rights. But,
Tootsie.
I don't know. No new trial. Okay, you guys, if you're just joining, no new trial. They just overturned the death penalty.
Who am I kidding?
So they can redo the penalty phase. Yes,
nobody was
RN
joining this
student.
shit.
Exactly. They can redo the penalty
I am gonna
phase
pee
if
my
they want to.
pants, for real.
But California doesn't. They don't kill anybody anyways. So they agreed with him though about the jury. And let's find out a little bit more about that. Let's find out a little bit more about the problems.
This is too much
with the jury selection.
Click, 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 click. Sound like Hunter. Pop, 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 pop.
They don't really
Don't
list the
break my
reason.
door, you fucking bitch. Right?
One of the things, there were jurors that were dismissed for misconduct, but then there was also a question of juror removal. I think there were several jurors removed from his trial, and I think there was a question of did the juror removal manipulate the verdict ultimately? So the first juror that got kicked off, let's go back.
Gosh.
So at the very
this is
last
one of those
minute,
YouTubers that I have to put on like fast speed.
removal. Okay, let's start at the
Yikes,
beginning.
Ashley.
This is where the jury is deliberating.
Much better.
And the judge committed reversible error when he removed 3 jurors and replaced them with alternates. After the final replacement, Greg Jackson, the jury's foreperson, the new jury reached its verdict in less than 8 hours, finding Peterson guilty of first-degree murder in the death of his wife Laci and second-degree murder in the death of his unborn son. The last-minute removal of the 2 final jurors, followed by such a quick verdict, shocked many pundits. The biggest issue is juror removals. Kicking someone off the jury is one of the riskiest things you can do in a trial. 2 jurors in 2 days. I've never heard of that happening before. And that is a quote from San Francisco prosecutor Jim Hammer. The first juror the judge replaced was Justin Falconer. Falconer lost his spot on the jury in June after he exchanged pleasantries with Laci Peterson's brother. The other 2 replacements were much more controversial because they took place after the jury had begun deliberating. The next juror to go was Fran Gorman because she was supposedly performing her own research on the case outside of the evidence
slow it
presented
down
at
because
trial.
that's way too fast.
According
I'm
to
gonna
some
have an
reports,
anxiety
Gorman has
attack.
since said that she
Jesus.
supported the jury's final verdict.
Woo!
The final replacement came the very next day when the judge replaced foreperson Greg Jackson. In a strange coincidence, Jackson was originally an alternate. He was Falconer's replacement last June. Jackson is a doctor and a lawyer and reportedly, quote, took more notes than any of his colleagues on the jury, carrying a stack of about 12 spiral-bound memo pads into the deliberation room. His replacement as foreperson was described as a firefighter in his early 30s who has taken relatively few notes.
Pitiful.
Exactly why Jackson was replaced remains unclear, but the New York Post reported that Jackson asked Judge DeLucci to be released from the jury. The Post reported that some close to the case say that Jackson angered fellow jurors when he demanded the panel methodically sift through all witness testimony and introduced exhibits before even holding a preliminary vote to see where the jury.
Come on, girl.
So there was a lot of drama.
Cody, look at your rookie-looking ass.
That's a lot. Yeah. So they were 2 of them were in deliberation. So 2 replacements in 2 days. One of them was the foreperson. And then the fact that Jackson may have been the lone holdout for acquittal.
Wow.
So that's what they are kind of basing this on.
Wow. That is a rookie looking ass. Let's see how I wrapped up my show. Let's see how that went down. Let's see. I was probably like, bye, I love you guys. This is probably what I said. Love you guys. Thank you for being here.
It was here first. All right, guys. Take care. Have a great
I knew it would be something fucked up. Watch.
So much for that, Callie. That's really sweet. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, Atlantic Tide Crimes. You may have seen it there, but it was here first. All right, guys. Take care. Have a great Monday. Bye.
Wow.
Terrible.
Holy shiznuts. That was funny. Oh, this is his appeal for a new trial. I actually have the hearing.
What is meant by
this
the
is
term?
this is where Vape Girl called in. This is freaking Vape. Oh my God, Vape Lady. Is Vape Lady in chat? If you are, please speak up.
Afternoon, runners, ready.
Case number S114228. The people, plaintiff and respondent.
This was a shit show. So this was to answer your question, that last video was August of 2020. This was June of 2020. So like everybody was new to like WebEx. I think this was a WebEx.
And a half, I would urge.
I believe this was a WebEx hearing. So this was in the very beginning of when they started doing court. And they gave the link out and all these people called in and had their cameras on. Like public people. And I think this is the one. It was hysterical. Maybe it wasn't this one. Dang it. I could have sworn it was either this or it was one of the maybe Morphew. I could have sworn it was this Peterson one though. But she was like, anyways, her name was on the screen or whatever. And we were cracking up at this lady because she was laying on her couch and vaping, like right in front of the judge and everybody. Like there were so many people on this call. But as people would drop and then join, it would show like different people. So occasionally we'd get like clips of, no, this wasn't it, I guess. Damn it. Occasionally we'd get clips of people because it would move their windows around. So she was laying down and she had her camera on and she was vaping. And I was like, oh my God. And we were cracking up. Well, she ended up coming in chat one day and she was like, hey, it's Vape Lady. So every time she came in, she would announce herself as Vape Lady. It was pretty funny. But it must not have been this hearing, darn it. But there's the beautiful Laci Peterson and her husband, Scott, who will be having an evidentiary hearing today at 1 o'clock Pacific, or 1 o'clock Eastern, rather, 10 o'clock Pacific. So the link has been put in the chat, and also it's in the community post here as well. Oh my God, why is that playing? What's going on here? Yeah, I don't want that on here. Oh my God, I was so fat too. Okay, we can look at that. I did not know that that was on that video. I couldn't see it. At any rate, we are going to wrap this up. I can't remember. If someone remembers what stream Vape Lady was from, I can probably find the clip. Hey, Taco Tuesday. She can't see the chat, but she says hello. Yeah, I don't know. I'll ask some of the OGs. Cheryl T is ill. Sending out lots of love to Cheryl, our Auntie Cheryl. Auntie Cheryl has COVID, so if you guys could send some good thoughts and vibes or prayers her way. Also, yeah, you want to, Maligator? We can get on Zoom. Let's do that. It should be starting in about 50 minutes. And I don't care. Like, I might doze. And I snore. You think it was Morpheus? Let me see. Okay, let me see. Because I might still have that, like, private. Let me see. Before we get off here. Get on Zoom, potato. You say potato. I say potato.
Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Moderators! Mount up. In 2 years from now, I'll be listening to that and I'll go, oh my God, what a dork. Because I just kind of had that thought right now. So that's already on the dork factor. So Barry Morphew. Let's see. That's kind of what I was thinking too, that it was the Morphew. When everybody attacked me for streaming. Oh my God. Let's see. Was it... Oh, here it is. Yep, I have it. Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We in business. We in business. We're gonna see Babe Lady. All right, let's see what we got here. What is this shit? What's it all blurred out? Oh, here it is. Oh, that was the court's camera. This isn't it. No, because this just shows him. It was a different. Must have been the prelim. This was May 27th of 2021. Let's go back. Barry Morphew. We have the prelim. It might have been one of the prelims. This is August, but there were several days. And I don't... No, there was no video for these. So it had to be before that one. That was private. Hold on. Let's see here. Barry Morphew press conference. Update. Gosh, I have a lot of... Look at all that. See, this is what it looks like when YouTubers can't make money. Yep. Burnt, burnt, burnt. Happens all the time. It's either that or yellow. House barricaded. Investigators digging. Part 1, Watts case. Part 2. Wow. Barry Morphew arrested. Discovery hearing, maybe? I think this... No. Did you guys hear Bella? That's what she does. She groans when I'm too loud and she's sleeping. She gets mad at me. And then she just big sighed me. Big, huge sigh. No, this isn't it either. Damn, there was one hearing, and I know I was live, where, like, everybody could call in. Damn vape lady. She's going to drive me crazy today. See, look at this one's. This is me just. Nope. I'll look through these, and then if they're not any of these, I give up because I don't have any other streams. No. Nothing exciting here. Damn it. I may have deleted it. Because I think this is the same thing. Yep. Well, I'll be damned. Shoot. All right. Well, maybe it'll surface somehow. I don't know if it's in regular videos, maybe. This is running so slow. See that little thing going across? This is terrible. I can just tell my internet's not acting right. Let's see. It's just going way too slow. Forget it. We'll worry about it later. But I tried. I'm sorry I couldn't provide you with Vape Lady. Oh my God, you guys couldn't even see the screen that whole time?
You buzzed? Roberta.
What? Sherry? Who's that? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know who that is. Guess I'll have to go look. All right, you guys. I'm going to get off here, and I will see you guys definitely tomorrow. And I will update you on what I hear today in the Peterson hearing, or if you're going to tune in. I can't wait. Let's discuss. This is going to be for 5 days. 5 days. I did try. My puppy, Summer, when she sleeps sometimes, she sticks her tongue out and she like suckles like she's on her mama. It's so cute. You guys enjoy your rest of your Friday, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Stay safe out there. Go get some cash out of the bank just in case.
Roberta.
JB, it's we have to stand down.
Gotta stand down. Bye, guys.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You wanna be, you wanna be with me.
Creep town, dude.
Something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans,
creepy.
But don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time. I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn.
Maybe that's a sign. Creepy. Creep town, dude.
to France, but don't